First of all right, we get some ice up here for Malcolm's knee. First of all, congratulations to Belmont on an outstanding season and run at the end of the year. And really, Coach Bird is a tremendous man, a tremendous coach. He's kind of near and dear to my heart because he wears a sweater vest, and my father used to wear a sweater vest when he coached. I told him that before, but what he's done with that program and how he's lasted is remarkable. So we knew it was going to be a very difficult, challenging game, very dangerous. You just don't see a lot of teams that can spread the floor like that can shoot the ball, and have the kind of guys that just keep coming at you, that can even bank threes in when they're going the way Bradshaw did. But it was good for us to be in a game like that. Our young men have been in a lot of games like that where we've had to just outlast and stay in there and make some plays, and even overcome some of our mistakes, but find ways. And they had to do that, and I hope it'll serve us well heading into Sunday's game against, obviously, a very good.
Coach, asked the players, but were you nervous down the stretch when it got to 62-60?
Well, they made some tough shots. Nervous is the right word. I knew we were going to have to make some plays, some stops, some free throws. I mean, you look at our 25 attempts to their 6, that was significant, and then to step up and make them. But you're never safe when you play a team like that has that big shot ability, that can score in spurts and hit, kind of unlimited range shots. And we did, obviously, they had a stretch, but we had to make some adjustments and guard in some unconventional ways that we really haven't had to all year. Some teams in our league did some things, so we had that to draw on. But, of course, I knew that game was in the balance. Even my assistants, he finally put his guys in at 26 seconds, and I think I looked up and it was a 12 or 13-point game, and I said they're probably a team that could bang a few threes, but it wasn't until that point, or when you were up 11 with a minute, you just never know how quickly they can shoot threes. So we knew we had to finish it out.
Back of the room.
Tony, David Teal from Newport News. I forget the total. It was high 40s in turnovers the last 3 games combined, only 7 today. How important was that to you offensively, and were you pleased with the improved ball security?
It was better. I think there was a couple offensive fouls in there too, so that even would lower it. But you can't have your offense cost you. I think someone asked a question to Malcolm early, and perhaps a couple times we settled for some outside shots. I think when we established the inside a little more, we were better, and I think as a younger guy, when your shots are going in from the outside, you want to have guys confident to take it. But that's maybe when the game got, I don't want to say fast, but where we didn't establish enough on the inside. But the ability for us, as I said, offensively to not hurt our defense is significant, and that was more like it, though they were hard to guard. We had some breakdowns defensively, but ball security, getting attempts up every time is so important, and it was good to see that number come down. They didn't go out and pressure as much, but you still had to take care of the ball, and they were feisty with how they'd get in there and swipe, and they weren't going to quit.
Back of the room.
Mike Savetis with Richmond. Coach, Justin said it was really nice to, for once, talk about his game and not his finger or his appendix. How did he ever show frustration or anything to you, maybe in practice, that, hey, I keep getting asked about this, I can't wait to get on the floor and show them? And how nice was it for him actually do some talking on the floor?
He's a unique kid. I told him how he's handled, young man, I should say. I get in trouble when I call these guys kids. He is unique. He never got discouraged. I remember when he was supposed to be able to play for Louisville, has one practice under his belt, had a decent practice, was excited to play. Then all of a sudden, he has to have the surgery. And he said, Coach, he just said, my faith is big. I'll be okay. And he was such an encourager through it. And that to me is remarkable, to see someone in his spot who's having such a good year and such a part of it, and how it kind of took the wind out of his sail. But his attitude was impressive. And I just, even during the games, that's real stuff. And I was so thankful that he had that, because I think it has helped him in his recovery and his ability to now play 26 minutes, and that was the best, obviously, you guys who followed us, of his 3 games.
Middle of the room, under the lights.
Chip Rier, 8 News from Richmond. Asked Malcolm and Anthony about having another crack at Michigan State on Sunday in the tournament. Want to get your thoughts?
Yeah, you're going from a master coach and Coach Bird to one of the greatest coaches, and Coach Izzo. Great respect for that program, how it's built, the physicality, the soundness, the toughness. grew up respecting it. Know we'll have to be at our best, but I think it's a real good team that seems to be playing very good basketball. I did watch most of the game against Wisconsin, and I said, Michigan State's back, and that's a real good 7 seed, no doubt. But when you get to this stage, even in the first round or the second round or the next round, you're going to have to play at a high level. So I know it will be. I'm sure it'll be a physical game and a hard-fought game. I expect that.
Front row.
This is probably the last thing you're thinking about, but were you aware that this is the first time Virginia's won 30 games in back-to-back seasons? And
Yeah, I study all those records. I was really encouraged about it.
I mean, what does it say?
What it says, no, I didn't. It's the first time you said in the history of Virginia basketball. They probably only played 20 game schedule, so that probably is another reason why. But that's a credit to these guys and what they've done just to be able to sustain it. We had a vision when we came in to try to turn the program around, and there's nothing better than being part of a turnaround. But then to establish it and try to stay at that level, that brings other unique opportunities and challenges. And to at least establish that from a win number is good. And I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for the guys that have stayed tough-minded, that haven't gotten caught up in how we do it, but that we do it, and we do it together, and we do it in a way that's best for us, and that's all we can ever do.
To our right, Coach.
Isabel Krishudian, Washington Post. Was there any sense of relief, either during or after the game about, having a team at full strength for the first time since early February?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's at full strength at this stage of the year, but to at least be able to, you look at Malcolm's stat line, Justin's stat line, and then, I think Darian and Anthony were moving better than they did in the ACC tournament with their ankles, so I knew that would be important because it takes an incredible amount of energy, and some of our guys' games are reliant upon how healthy they are. So just to have that, to be able to, again, come in with Marielle, we slid Evan to the 4 in this game. It gave us a little more flexibility to be able to match up, and that's what you need. You have to be flexible to be able to match up with different kinds of teams. So that was obviously the most healthy we've been for quite a while.
Front row, far left.
I'm Ernest Ho with EM Sports out of Lynchburg. Coach, will Justin be starting against Michigan?
Well, we're playing Michigan State, so so I don't think he'll be starting
I
against
mean,
Michigan.
yeah.
No. You know what? We'll look at it and see the matchups and all that. He'll play. How's that for you?
Far left again.
Tony over here, Rob Corlin, Comcast Sportsnet. You mentioned Anthony. How important was it to establish him inside early, and how different are you guys when he gets going like that?
Yeah, it was important, and I don't know how good of a job we did because I mentioned we hit some threes early, and we kind of got that's it's not fool's gold. That's too strong of a word, but it can cause you to, hey, there has to be a balance. I mean, we're not a high volume. That was 17, and that was the way they condensed the defense, and you had to take some of those shots, and we made some. But even if you touch the paint first and then kick it out, and I thought we didn't do a great job, but when we did, usually good things happened, and that was important for us with Anthony Darian or even Mike, the little bit he played. That was a hard matchup game for Mike Tobey, but the ability to get inside. I thought London made a terrific pass that was really key in that run. It was a little side ball screen, and he slipped it, and then Anthony had a nice finish, so that was big.
Second row left.
Aaron McFarling with the Roanoke Times. Tony, was there any explanation given on that play where it looked like the shot clock might have expired? There was a lot of confusion there.
Yeah.
Just curious what you knew about that play.
Yeah, I was confused. But no, the officials said that Marielle had possession of the ball. And I don't know when he had possession of the ball. Maybe that was at the I think maybe that was while the shot clock was at 3 or 4. I don't know. And I guess maybe he did. I think the guy came, and it was so fast. It was kind of a bang-bang play where he got it, and the guy swiped it out, and the shot clock didn't reset. So really, I think if he had possession, the shot clock should have reset on that if they called it a turnover. And everybody was kind of standing around, and that was, I don't know, it seems like, I don't know what the right answer is, but that was the explanation, that we got possession, so the shot clock should have reset, and it was a shot clock error on the scores table.
Standing left.
Coach Chris Wright with thesaber.com.
Chris.
You generally don't switch on defense very much, particularly on the perimeter. You did that more tonight than normal. Are you comfortable doing that, and how did you think that
I
helped
think you have to. Well, we'll switch likes on ball screens, and look, they have 4 guards, and that was what Evan gave us the flexibility. Rotations are really tough against them because of how spread they are. And sometimes they're coming off ball screens, I thought, more to, I mean, they balance it out more to make the quick pass, depending upon when someone's in there. So we changed our philosophy a little bit of what we do in this game, and I thought it was good for us. Now, a couple times we miscommunicated, and they got some shots, but very difficult team to try to blow up the screen when they have a four-man who really slips the screen. He's stretched, he can shoot, a little bit like Middaglu from Wake Forest when we played him. So we just thought we had our normal defense, and then we had a plan B, and we went a little more to plan B, and we even had a plan C that we went to too, just to mix it up. And I thought it was effective for us. I'll watch the tape, but I think you have to have that when you go against that. So I am flexible. I'm not just we do things.
2 more questions to our left, and we'll finish in the front row.
Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal. Tony, you mentioned seeing Michigan State against Wisconsin. Have you seen them at any other point during the year, and what have you scouted them at all?
Just bits and pieces, not a whole lot. I just know that Coach Izzo has a knack for getting his teams to really rise up and play at a high level come March. He's just done it. You look at his track record, but watching, because I know how good Wisconsin is. I've watched them just with my interest being from there and all that. I've watched them a few times, and I know how well Wisconsin was playing. So when I watched that Big Ten final, that was impressive. And I think they beat Maryland to get into that game in a tough, hard-fought game. I know how well Maryland was playing. So they have a knack. They got guys with experience. I remember how good Dawson was against us last year in the Sweet 16 game, and he's got them playing at a high level without a doubt. But watched him just bits and pieces.
Last question, right here in front row.
You said after the Carolina game last week that that's not who we are. I don't know what the exact numbers are for a 2 versus a 15 in tournament, but obviously people will think maybe you escaped today, but the sense is you feel you played very well.
I think we were solid enough and made some plays. Every year, I think the seedings become less significant. You just look around how close the games are. The upsets are there. It's just happening more and more. Parity is here in college basketball. And there have been 2 15 upsets. We saw one last year. It happens. So when you play a team, matchups are so important. That was a difficult matchup, I think, for anybody, the way they were playing. But that was a hard one for us. We've had some trouble with teams that play like that. So I thought we responded in some ways. I don't know how well we played. We played well enough, and I have great respect. And I think there's things certainly we can clean up, and it'll be a different kind of game come Sunday.